Well folks, that's what the garden looks like when you walk away from it in winter and spend too much time playing with potting mix bags and labels and things like that. Well, we're getting into springtime and it's time to clean up the garden. Well, I thought I'd just remind you of what's going on here. Well, what's going on in the season. Now, my famous apple tree that we constantly cover over every year with the netting, and we only do it after it sets fruit, so don't cover your trees until they finish flowering. You want the bees and the pollinators to get in there and do their job. This tree's been meticulously worked so it doesn't grow anymore. We've only got about 6 inches of growth on it, but I do have to thin it out a lot. So put that aside, we're not here about pruning. I'm more concerned about codling moth and all the other pests that get onto our plants as they grow through the growing season. Codling moth will have multiple cycles through the growing season, so you'll find adults and juveniles actively going, and so you'll find them actually laying eggs from as early springtime when they set fruit all the way into summertime. Not into late summer, but definitely into midsummer, and that's because of the different cycles. Now, what can you do to protect them? We've done this before, but it's a good reminder for everybody because you've got multiple choices as to what to apply and how to do it. First one is the netting, obviously, but you can't do it while it's still dormant or about to push its flowers out. Once it sets fruit, get yourself the insect netting. The bird netting is not going to work, so you need the insect netting, which is a fine one. If you do go with a bird netting, there is a 4mm aperture bird netting, which is a lot finer. This is the one over here. Don't mind the mess. I'm going to clean this place up. And for those who came to our garden workshops, you saw it firsthand. You can see how big the property is. So I can't drag it all across. This is a 4mm opening on this netting, so it is small enough to be able to control it, but I dare say it may sneak through, so you're better off getting the insect netting. So that's one you got to do. Second one is also around the trunk. Now, we've done it in the past, and don't mind the stinging nettle. Actually, I might take this out. Just do that for now. See, I've got masking tape there around the base. Now, what I've applied there is known as Tree Guard. It's a paste, almost like Vaseline, but really thick and gooey and sticky. Now, even the product itself says to use masking tape before you apply the product on top, so don't apply it directly on the trunk, but you can still see that it does run. So it's not meant to run, but in the heat of the summertime, you'll find it'll start to ooze down onto the trunk and onto the bark. I haven't cleaned it, and I'm guessing it's not going to do a lot of damage to the tree, if any at all. But what I suggest you do instead, use Glad Wrap and start from the bottom all the way around, nice and tight. Wrap that around and cover it all the way down, and then apply just a single ring around the trunk itself. You don't have to create a whole barrier or a wall of it, just a single ring. The purpose of that is because the codling moth lays its eggs down in here, they pupate, they come out when they emerge and they start to crawl up, and they get to the barrier and they can't get past that. So that's another way of controlling it. But be mindful that if you've got posts around the tree or low hanging branches that are touching the ground, well, the little creature or critter will find its way crawling up here, especially if it's touching at the top somewhere. And in this case it is. So it's a long journey all the way up there, but if they're desperate, they'll make it. So netting, one we said. Another one is the Tree Guard around the base. The third one is the specific codling moth trap, the red case, the infamous red house, triangular form. You've got your sticky card and your lures inside there. Don't hang it in the tree, hang it outside the tree. You don't want to attract the insect into the center of the tree, because on its journey through, it'll pick up the scent of those beautiful fruit that you've got growing there, being apples, pears, and it'll probably end up laying a few eggs on the way. So keep it on the outside, and the more you hang of these, the better it is. This is my one that you can see I've had on this tree every year. I've taken it off now, well, around the tree, so now it's going to be time to hang it up again. And it's ideal to do use multiple methods rather than just the one, because you can't expect to catch every insect, flying that is, on the one little house like this. So if you had it all the way around, and it can be a bit pricey obviously, but they do work, so you need to hang them up, put a new card inside, put the lure in it, hang it up, job's done. Now the other one, well, we've been trialling this for a number of years, CGWS. All of you know about it, especially in South Australia, because you guys really have a big problem with citrus gall wasp. This is a shield. Basically what I mean is you mix it with water, apply it on your plant for citrus trees, because that's what we predominantly promoted it for, to control citrus gall wasp. Now it's a nasty pest because it actually lays its eggs on the bark of the branch here, then it burrows inside and it swells and it lives off the sap flow of the tree and it starts to create that gall. By spraying this, you're creating a shield of armour, A, to protect the tree from the insect, multiple insects that is, different types that is, B, sun protection, so it actually does help reflect the heat of the tree, especially the sunlight. Because citrus trees don't grow well after 38 degrees or something like that. They start slowing down and their sap flow slows down and they're non-productive. So by spraying this, you get active growth throughout the whole year, through the summer period especially, but even more so on fruit trees like apples and pears and cherries. We've tried it and we found it to be very successful in reducing the amount of attack you have on your fruit. It doesn't stop them completely, nothing really does, unless you're using a heavy toxic chemical, and that's the last thing you want to be doing, folks. We know why. Try and use something natural. This is a great barrier film to put on your plants, and you spray it directly on your fruit once they set and they're about the size of a marble, and you'll apply it again after 4 to 6 weeks because the fruit grows. You need to do another covering over the top. That is a real simple way to doing it. It washes off in water. So it's a clay base powder, refined clay, so that when you mix it with water and it dries on there, it's a great protectant and a shield against pests and heat and even cold. So I don't know if I've missed anything there. There's probably a couple of other traps or contraptions that you can probably put on or already do, but the ones that I use are citrus gall wasp or CGWS spray, codling moth traps, the tree guard paste around the base, and the netting. If those 4 things don't work at the end of the day, then give it up. Really, let nature have its feast and look after the soil. Build the immune system on your tree so they've got the energy and the nutritional strength to be able to warn off themselves and be more resilient against pests and diseases. All these products are available on our website, folks, Vasili'sGarden.com, and our bags, we're running them out, so don't miss out on the opportunity to get a great product at a very, very low price. Vasili'sGarden.com, and for those folks in South Australia, we'll be up there next weekend. I think it's the 5th, 6th, 7th, that weekend of September. So if you want to be ordering your bags, get your orders in now before they sell out, and we'll bring them up to you, and we'll see you there. From me, Vasili, Maresi.